Our today's topic is poem Have You Earned Your Tomorrow by Edgar Guest. Edgar Albert Guest was born on 20th August 1881 and died on 5th August 1959 at the age of 77. He has been called the poet of the people because of his style of writing poem. He broadcast a weekly program on NBC Radio, A Guest in Your Home in 1951. He considered himself as a newspaper man who wrote verses because most of his poems were 14 lines long and presented on view of everyday's life. This poem, Have You Earned Your Tomorrow, was first published in the Detroit Free Press in around 1916. It is a four-stanza poem separated into set of 4 lines. It has constant rhyme scheme. Let us see the first stanza of the poem. The rhyme scheme of this stanza is AABB. Is anybody happier because you passed his way? Does anyone remember that you spoke to him today? This day is almost over, and his toiling time is through. Is there anyone to utter now a kindly word of you? Here, the poet begins with direct question to the readers. He asks that if we had done anything to improve the day of another human being or to make anyone's day better. Here comes a most direct question of all the questions in the poem. It directly gets to the heart of readers. The poet says that the day is almost coming to an end. Does you have anyone who will speak something good about you? Then he asks the readers whether you are nice in your interaction with others. By these 2 questions, poet wants to emphasize on kindness of readers. In the 3rd line, the poet states that the day is almost coming to end and time is short for readers to make positive impact. So he asks the readers that is there anyone who will speak something good about us? So in short, he wants to know if we had done anything good that day. Let us see the poetic device. In the very first line, the consonant sound Z is repeated in the words past and is. So consonance is there. Also, we can see that there is an indirect comparison between passing someone's way and interacting with someone. So metaphor is there. Here a question is used to emphasize. So interrogation is also there. In the second line, again a question is used for emphasize. So interrogation is there. In the 3rd line, we can see that time has been given the animate quality of tolling. So personification is there. The word over and through means the same. So poetic device tautology is also present. In this 3rd line, the epithet tolling has been transferred from the toller to the time. So poetic device transfer epithet is also present. In the last line, the correct order of words should be, is there anyone to utter a kind word of you now? So inversion is there. Also, a question is used to emphasize. So interrogation is also there. Let us see the second stanza. Did you give a cheerful greetings to the friend who came along, or a curlish sort of howdy and then vanish in the throng? Were you selfish, pure and simple as you rushed along the way, or is someone mighty grateful for a deed you did today? The rhyme scheme of this stanza is CCAA. Here, the poet inquires into a friendly greetings. He asks another question, that if any time during the day we have greeted a friend cheerfully. Actually, here poet is concerned about how we treat people whom we know. In the second line, he tries to probe us on his own selfish tendency or try to make us understand that we are selfish. So, he asks us, do we have greeted a friend cheerfully or just said a curt hello and disappeared into the crowd? Here, poet also wants to tell us that it's distasteful to treat a friend in that way. So, in the end, to hear some positive response from us, he asks whether we, means the readers, stopped to help someone or stopped to hear someone. Do we have done anything to make that person feel grateful to us or not? Let us see the poetic devices. In the very first line, we can see a question is used for emphasis, so interrogation is there. Here, the epithet cheerful being transferred from the person to the greeting, so transfer epithet is also there. In the next line, again a question is used to emphasize, so interrogation is there. Alliteration is also there because there is a close repetition of the sound of consonant T in the words from, the and then. In the next line, we can see alliteration as there is a close repetition of sound of consonant W in the words where and way and S in the words selfish and simple. In the last line, again, a question is used to emphasize, so interrogation is there. There is a close repetition of the sound of consonant D in the words did and did, so alliteration is also there. Let's see the third stanza. Can you say tonight, in parting with the days that is slipping fast, that you helped a single brother of the many that you passed? Is a single heart rejoicing over what you did or said? Does a man whose hopes were fading now with courage look ahead? The rhyme scheme of this stanza is DDEE. Now here the poet is concerned with helping others and giving hope. This stanza begins with a longer question. Here the poet asks us whether we helped a single brother. Here poet shows that it is sufficient if we have come across many people, but out of many people, we are kind to just one person. So he emphasized on asking us that it's enough if we were kind to just one. And that single person, that single heart is now rejoicing due to our actions. He just wanted to know whether we have instilled courage in just one person who is losing hope or not. If we have done anything good to anyone, then it will bring peace to us as the day is going to end. Ideally, the poet here would like us to be a man with improved hope and courage to look ahead. Therefore, here he uses courage and cowardice as tools to improve or worsen someone's life. Let us see the poetic device. In the very first line, there is a repetition of the sound of consonant T in the words the and that. So alliteration is there. Also, there is a repetition of the sound of consonant S in the words slipping and say. So alliteration is again there. In the second line, the word that has been repeated. So repetition is there. Also, we can see synecdoche as a poetic device here. In the third line, again, synecdoche is there. Alliteration is also present. In the very last line, inversion is there because the correct order of this line should be, "Does a man whose hope were fading now look ahead with courage?" Again, alliteration is there because we can see the repetition of the sound of consonant W in the word whose, with and where. Let's move to the next stanza. Did you waste the day or lose it? Was it well or solely spent? Did you leave a trail of kindness or a scar of discontent? As you close your eyes in slumber, do you think that God would say, "You have earned one more tomorrow by the work you did today"? Here, the rhyme scheme of this stanza is FFAA. Here, actually, the poet wants to convey us that any day when we do not help or improve lives of others, that day is lost. It is wasted because one spent the day painfully being unhappy. And on other hand, if we are kind to a person, at that point our day was spent well. Here, the poet means that the kindness you show to other will lead them to be kind to some other person. And like this, a chain of kindness can be maintained. Also, by showing kindness, we can make a difference in someone else's life. And one we know we genuinely contributed something positive in any other person's life, we will be able to hear God's voice when we close our eyes in sleep. The voice which tells us that we have earned our tomorrow because of the good deeds that we did today. So, here the poet wants to make us understand that if we helped one person to solve his problem, to give him courage, we have earned ourselves a good future. And if a day spent serving only the self, that might not turn us tomorrow. Let us see the poetic devices. Did you waste the day or lose it? Was it well or solely spent? Now here a question is used to emphasize, so interrogation is there. Also, the repetition of the sound of consonant D, W and S is present, so alliteration is there. Here, opposite words well and solely have been used in the same line to ask whether the day was spent nicely or painfully, so antithesis is there. In the next line, again a question is used for emphasize, so interrogation is there. The feeling of dissatisfaction or discontent has been indirectly compared to a scar. So, metaphor is present. In the next line, we can see that God has been given the innate quality of being able to speak. So, personification is there. Also, if we take both these lines together, as you close your eyes in slumber, do you think that God would say, "You have earned one more tomorrow by the work you did today"? So, poetic device interrogation can be identified here. Also, antithesis is present because opposite words tomorrow and today have been placed in the same line to indicate that a better future depends on a good deed of the present. So, here with this poem, we come to know that a smallest deed on one's part is enough for a better tomorrow for oneself. So here poet tries to prod us to question ourselves about our own goodness and how we can earn happiness and well-deserved future by helping other people. It is a self-reflection poem which tells us to live our lives every day with the purpose of making the life of other people happy. I hope the summary of the poem is clear to you all. Thank you, and do not forget to like, share and subscribe my channel.